Many of us have spent the past 5, 7, 10 years, or maybe even more, working on ourselves, doing a lot of personal development. And there may be a moment when we decide to look back or to try to make an inventory of where we stand today. Like, okay, was it all worth it? And I would like to share mine because I may inspire you or trigger you, which in both cases will help you forward. So let's dive into this one and see what comes up. This is unscripted, just talking from here. Like, subscribe, and share. Hi, my name is Lotfi, and in this video I would like to share with you my insights after my, how many years? Wow, 17 years? Yes, let's call it 17 years of conscious personal development, because we may have experienced more in our lives, but we know that at a certain moment we started doing it, we started working ourselves. So then we often take that as a starting point, but it's not truly the starting point. But making that conscious choice is actually an important beacon in our lives. It means that things accumulated, things happened, and things led us to a certain moment become aware, become conscious of where we stand and the direction we want to head into. We may have an end goal, which most probably has changed already a few times over time. But yeah, there was this moment. And for me, that was 2004, end of 2004. And autumn 2004. So for me, it's already been 17 and a half years, even more. And it's very interesting what happened. It's interesting to see how I started, how things started to evolve, and how there were some jumps. So it all started with me being really done with the life I was leading. At the end of my second burnout, which was a heavy one, and a client of mine, I mean, was still in the corporate world, was a Reiki master who just started her practice. She had invited me a year before already, but I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know. But then I met her on the street a year later, and I remember the radiance, and that was a magnet for me, and so we talked, and then I decided to go, have a session. And that was a very interesting experience. I I believe my first session I already had an out-of-body experience. And when I came back 2 weeks later, I had already changed something in my energy field, and she was completely shocked that I did that so easily, so fast. And that encouraged me, because that told me that I actually could change things in my life. And so I started looking for more. And that's how I started talking with the person who became my mentor, in a different way, because he was already in my life, was already part of a group of friends. And he would introduce me to different people, to different, let's say, specialists. And eventually I started looking myself for things and meeting myself, new people. And if I look at my personal development since 2004, a lot has happened. I've experienced a lot. I've learned a lot of things, tried out a lot of things. And every person who came on my path taught me something very valuable. Also, somebody who taught me hypnosis and was abusing that and was actually proud of how he could make his friends do stupid things. And for me, that was a very clear sign, like, okay, do I want to be like such a, yeah, for me it was just total moron, asshole. If you do these things, then you have no clue what life is about. If you think it's funny to control people, then you're really sick in your mind. It means you're very insecure. And as he was a guy, he must have had a very tiny, you know what. So I made the conscious choice not to play with people. Yes, I experimented with people, certain things, and I tried, but it was always with respect. There was no crossing lines. Because when you learn new things, I also want to see how far can I go with this? How much can I actually do for a person? How do people react to certain things, respond to certain things? And I also made the commitment myself never to use things for harmful purposes. That was after I discovered that I could really use energy to really transform something, to revive a dead nerve. Maybe it was not dead, but scientists had been saying for 7 years that the nerve was dead and the woman would never walk normally anymore in her life. And spontaneously I performed the healing without even the intention of healing that nerve. So that was a shock moment for me. That's when I said that intention to use it only for good. And throughout the years I started accumulating knowledge, but started also, as I'm a generalist in general in my life, in all areas what I'm doing, I combine things. So I also start to combine the different techniques and knowledge and systems that I started to learn. And that made things more fun for me, but also started to boost things, because if you combine the right things, it becomes exponential. And maybe the most important thing is I started not just to learn things, but actually to integrate them in my life. That's what I call leading by example. And this leading by example is what made me attractive for clients, made people come to me, but also gave me more self-confidence. Because we all, when we start our own business, we may have a lot of self-confidence about certain things, but we have a lot of insecurities about other things. And many of us wonder if we're good enough, if we're really that good that we can charge that price, or that people would really walk away healthier, better person, whatever it is. And by the way, that is not our responsibility. Huh? We are not responsible for what people do with what we teach them. So we're not responsible for the outcome. We're responsible for what we teach, for what we share, for what we give, how we interact with our clients, how we interact with people in general. We're not responsible for their well-being. I'm responsible for my own well-being, just like you are responsible for your own well-being. I can never be held responsible for somebody else's well-being. Yeah, maybe if you're a parent, you have a child in your care, but not when it comes to adults. So there have been a lot of interesting moments where I thought I knew it all, or I thought I understood it all, and life showed me that it was an illusion again. Everything I believed and everything I thought I knew was either not true, or it was just this small. And of course they're saying the more I know that I know very little, or that what I knew was only one side of the story, and that there may be 1,000 stories, because 1,000 different people experience the same thing. So there's 1,000 ways of having that experience. So there's 1,000 stories that could be told. And that's important, because we are all different, so we all have our own experience of life, even when we are in the same moment, in the same place. And our life experiences do influence how we see things and what we do next. Just like this video was a direct result of my experiences and the previous videos I recorded, and the choices I made, and the things that came on my path, and the questions I've been asked. So I'm really curious to hear what your path has been, what your experiences are, what you've learned, what you've gone through, how you got to where you are today. You can put it in the comments or send me a direct message, because I love getting inspired by other people. I love to hear stories, because I may learn a lot from it. Looking forward to interacting with you, and see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share.